Hey guys, Keely Reason here, owner of Love Hub Adventure, where I talk about the marriage relationship, intimacy of marriage, and how you can go deeper with your spouse. Today I'm answering a reader's question. So the reader says, I'm a higher drive spouse and I want to know, is it okay for me to ask my spouse to give me a hand job, oral sex, blow job, manual stimulation, something like that when they aren't in the mood? So in this case, this spouse has more sexual desire than the person they are married to. Listen, that's very common in relationships. For somebody that is a what we call spontaneous desire spouse to be married to somebody who has a responsive desire. Now, here's the difference. The person that has that spontaneous desire can often feel aroused when nothing is happening that would make them feel that way. They're just, all of a sudden, they're there. They're ready. They weren't talking about anything necessarily or thinking about anything necessarily. It's just going on. Then there's the responsive desire spouse who has to take time to feel excited and aroused. Something sexual needs to be happening for them to get there. And when you ask your spouse, like, hey, are you in the mood? Do you want to spend time with me or whatever? There might be a good chance they're not, because their mind isn't there. Nothing sexual is happening. Just you asking, are you in the mood? Do you want sex? Do you want to spend time together? Is probably not enough to get them there. However, there's a lot of things you can do with them that does emotionally, mentally, physically get them aroused and ready for that. So before you go to your spouse and start asking them to do some kind of quickie for you, invite them into a sexual situation. Kiss on them, hug them, ask them, like, are you at least interested in seeing if you could get there sexually right now? Would you be interested in cuddling or kissing or something that they enjoy that can be a turn on for them? And then going from there. Okay, so asking them if they want to be a part of that, invite them to be a part of that. Because one thing that can happen in this kind of situation is that you start setting this expectation that, okay, I'm in the mood, you're not. Since you're not, can you just do something real quick for me so that I can have that release? Instead of combating what's actually happening here, working together to create a sexual experience that you can both enjoy. Now, that is not to say that you cannot ask your spouse for a quickie that is just for you. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that those should be few and far between. More often than not, you should be inviting them to be in a sexual pleasure with them. So the other thing that can happen for a responsive desired spouse, the person who has to get in that sexual situation, is if they do decide to give you a quickie, they very well may get aroused by doing those sexual things. But because you both came into this with the expectation that this is a quickie and you're trying to do it real quick and just have this desire met for you, they might very well be left holding the bag at the end of this, because now they're aroused. Now they have sexual desire. They spent that time doing this for you, and now that's it. There's nothing for them. So I also recommend that if you are going to ask your spouse, are you okay to do a quickie for me? But then at the end of that, ask them, are you aroused? Do you want me to do anything for you? Offer to them, because they very well may change their mind. If you consider yourself to be the high drive and them to be the low drive, there's a good chance that it's not what you think. Because people who have a high drive don't understand that their low drive spouse can absolutely be ready for sex if they are prompted into it, if they are invited into it, if that sexual situation occurs. But because they don't have that, like, spontaneous desire, and they don't just come to them and say, ooh, I want to have sex, and they are more likely waiting for you to come to them, it can just seem like, well, they're never in the mood. The responsive desire spouse can absolutely get in the mood. My recommendation is that you invite them into that. And if you are asking them for a quickie, some sort of sexual gratification, Ask them after if is there anything I can do for you now? But make this few and far between. It is better for a couple if you're both working together to create shared sexual experiences that you both love and you both feel satisfied with. That's my recommendations. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I will chat with you guys later.